The cradle of jazz music, New Orleans is a little out of step with the United States when it comes to dining, architecture, and just day-to-day living. It's a city of Creole cottages, palatial townhouses, elegant iron balconies, and shaded courtyards. Out of the French Quarter, vintage streetcars rattle past rows of southern live oaks that have been growing for hundreds of years. In this video, you'll see the top 10 things to see and do in New Orleans. The suggestions are based on our several exciting trips to the City of Angels. Here are our top 10 picks. Begin with number 1, French Quarter. Rakish, bohemian, bouncy, the French Quarter, Vieux Carré, is the grand aim, and springs to mind when many people think New Orleans. All the hallmarks are here, like the carnage of Bourbon Street, Creole cottages, wrought iron balconies, laid-back cafes, pastel facades, gaslights, jazz clubs, flowery courtyards, to-go cups, antique stores and restaurants that have been around for a century or more. You won't even need to search for entertainment. It will find you in the French Quarter. Number 2 is the Garden District. New Orleans at its most refined, the Garden District was developed for rich Americans who didn't want to live in the French Quarter with the Creoles. From the mid-1830s they built themselves theatrical Italianate and Greek Revival mansions, often painted bright white and sporting 2 tiers of galleries. Bougainvillea creeps up many of the facades, while the front gardens are planted with jasmine, banana trees and magnolia. Number 3, Jackson Square. Once a military parade ground at the very center of the city, Jackson Square was first laid out in 1720s in the style of Place de Vosges in Paris. After the Battle of New Orleans in 1815, the plaza was renamed in honor of the victorious General Andrew Jackson, who would become the 7th President of the United States between 1829 and 1837. At the very center of formal gardens is the equestrian statue for Jackson by sculptor Clark Mills and unveiled in 1856. Jackson Square is set just in from the Mississippi River bank, and in a solemn row on the western frontage stand the Cabildo, former City Hall. Number 4, City Park. The 6th largest urban park in America is on swampland that was drained by French colonists in the early 19th century. At the time, this space was known as Dueling Oaks, where men would come to settle disputes away from the city. The park was landscaped in the 1850s and holds the world's largest collection of mature oaks, with some specimens more than 600 years old. In true Louisiana style, these are dripping with Spanish moss and afford lots of shade for jogging, cycling, and picnics. Number 5 in our list, Audubon Zoo. In the park of the same name on the riverside of Magazine Street, Audubon Zoo escaped the worst of Katrina as it rests on high ground. The humid climate in New Orleans allows Audubon Zoo to create lush and realistic environments like the award-winning Louisiana swamp with leucistic alligators and the jaguar jungle. Many children's favorites are here, like Asian elephants, orangutans, lions, returned in May 2019, a Malayan tiger, western lowland gorillas, giraffes, and rhinos. In the summer, the cool Zoo Splash Park opens for kids, with a gator run, lazy river, so pack swimming gear for little ones. Number 6, Royal Street. Parallel to Bourbon Street as it cuts through the French Quarter, Royal Street is a quieter, maybe more genteel sibling. Along 13 blocks there's a postcard-worthy scene of Creole townhouses with decorative wrought iron balconies. Plenty are private homes, but on many ground floors are alluring boutiques, galleries, cafes, antique shops, and artist studios. Where you can, don't miss the chance to peek inside and get an eyeful of the period decor. Number 7, St. Louis Cathedral. The striking St. Louis Cathedral and its 3 soaring spires overlook the historic Jackson Square, in the center of the French Quarter. Dedicated to King Louis IX of France, it is the oldest cathedral in continuous use in the States, having been built in 1789. The third cathedral to be set on the same site, It boasts a beautiful facade with stained glass windows lining the sides of the Spanish colonial structure. Inside is just as alluring with fine religious artworks, a huge altar and an organ. The historic cathedral still hosts important masses. Number 8. National World War II Museum. New Orleans is where Higgins boats were designed, built, and tested. These landing craft were pivotal to amphibious invasions like Normandy in 1944, and so it's fitting that New Orleans' superb National World War II Museum should have opened on D-Day's 56th anniversary on June 6, 2000. As you enter, you'll be given a dog tag, which you can scan at stations around the museum for compelling personal profiles. Road to Tokyo deals with the war in the Pacific, from Pearl Harbor to Tokyo, giving a sense of the extreme conditions that American forces faced, while Road to Berlin transports you to Europe in richly designed galleries using lots of footage. Number 9. Mardi Gras World. Lying right next to the port of New Orleans is the massive working warehouse of Mardi Gras World, where flamboyant floats are made for the famous parade. On tours of the complex, you can see how the gigantic figures, floats, and props are produced. There are thousands of colorful costumes and old floats decorating the interior. As you wander around the warehouse, you'll get to see painters and sculptors working on their latest creations and learn all about the history of Mardi Gras. Besides getting a feel for the festival, guests can also snap photos of the amazing figures and floats, and even dress up in some carnival costumes. Finish with number 10, Audubon Aquarium of the Americas. By the Mississippi on the edge of the French Quarter, the Audubon Aquarium of the Americas has tanks mimicking habitats across North, South, and Central America. The striking 5-meter Gulf of Mexico exhibit holds stingrays, sharks, and sea turtles, while the Mississippi River Gallery has a mixture of environments holding owls, a leucistic white alligatory, paddlefish, and catfish. The Amazon exhibit is a high point, in a balmy greenhouse planted with rainforest where you'll happen upon piranhas, an anaconda, and freshwater stingrays, while the Great Maya Reef Aquarium shows off its moray eels, tarpons. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite thing to do in New Orleans? Is there something we missed? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Greenable if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.